My guest today is Enas Daeki. She was born in Libya into a culture where women, though educated, often leave behind their education and potential to become mothers and homemakers. A tradition that she wholeheartedly respects and understands, yet her ambition as a little girl growing up in this culture was to be all that she could be in her life, whatever that would take her. She is a coach and mentor, currently training to lead international programs, whilst also running Arabella Beauty Agency, which she founded in the UK, and it facilitates and establishes beauty brands. What does that word unbroken mean to you?
Hmm. Well, I'm broken. Do you know what, Madeleine? The first thing that I can see when I just hear I'm broken is someone getting out of fire. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it's, I would say resilient. I would say someone is flexible to bend,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just you can't break them.
So you are unbreakable.
Well, yes.
Mm.
Whatever left from me after the fire is
Uh-huh.
yeah.
And I do love that description. Everybody gives me a different interpretation, which is beautiful. Out of all the episodes so far, there's never been one the same. But yeah, to really walk through the fire is to have total resilience.
Yes.
Yeah, so now you're living in London, but you were born in Libya, weren't you? Into a life of privilege and comfort.
Yeah. So my dad was a politician. He worked in
Hmm.
the government for a while. He looked after our family. My mom was amazing, right? In her
Hmm.
world, she was a housewife. She raised us. So my dad was the breadwinner while my mom looked after us. So and Libya's culture, the way that we live, is very comfortable. You live in your house with your family. You're provided for. Um, yeah, it's comfortable. You don't really know the outside world
Hmm.
and you don't really get exposed to it,
So
especially as a girl.
yeah, it sounds comfortable, but it also sounds quite protected.
Massively protected.
Yes,
Massively
in a
protected.
bit of a bubble there.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, from what I've grown, I don't know really, but I can speak from my experience. From my family, the man does everything for you. Even if you wanted to travel,
Hmm.
like they fill your visa for you, they will do all of the legal things for you. You just like get to go. Do you know
Hmm.
what I mean? You don't really get to see what does it take for you to be the breadwinner or how does life really look like.
And had you moved out into your flat with your friend Ruby before your mum decided to leave?
Yeah, that's
You
right.
had, yeah.
Yeah.
So Ruby became a bit of a mentor to you, really, wasn't she?
She was the person that I met in the right time. It's like it's funny. This is when I start to believe because I was too angry with everything that's happening. My dad's sickness, the war, everything that I've lost. I was like, I'm not really sure if I believe in something.
Hmm.
I'm not even sure if that something is actually pure or good because it looks awful. What did I do that this happens to me? And then meeting Ruby had me kind of like start to believe in something bigger.
What do you think she brought to you that made you think or feel differently?
I think peace or acceptance. Yeah. And I would say unconditional love.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then also something about her, she was really spiritual.
Hmm.
So she taught me a lot about something that I didn't know, which is spirituality,
So it opened you up in a different way.
massively.
So when your mum said she's leaving, and you said, actually, no, I'm staying.
Yep.
What impact would that have, saying that to your Libyan mother, that actually I'm not going to do as you say?
Well, it wasn't the easiest. It was
Yeah.
so tough. And listen, my mom, even though she's tough, she's strict and all of that, I love her. She's
Yeah.
one of the biggest, teachers that I've learned a lot from her. Because she was an example of, love to me. The way that she stayed with my dad, the way that she looked after him, the way that she sacrificed her life for him. It was just remarkable. And saying no to someone that you love the most,
Mhm.
it's hard.
Yeah.
I spoke about spirituality, I spoke about belief, I spoke
Mhm.
about having a mentor, having the right people around you.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
your intuition as well. You mentioned your intuition a lot, really listening to our gut.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny because there is like there is a fine line in your intuition, because sometimes your intuition, you get it mistaken with fear,
Mm-hmm.
because you're listening to something, either your
Yes.
intuition or your thoughts about, you know, your thoughts or your consideration.
Mm-hmm. But sometimes when we go back, we go, I knew I shouldn't have done that. Something was telling me not to, but obviously fear was driving it. So we listen to fear. And when we go back, we go, I knew that was the wrong thing to have
Yeah.
done.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think, just to get like one advice here, you need to ask yourself every time you listen to that voice,
Mm-hmm.
your intuition,
Yeah.
is where is it coming from? Is it coming
Yes.
from fear, or is it coming from power?
Yeah. And that's what really, to me, being grounded is. If we can really ground ourselves, be present in our body and our mind, and really listen to what's going on, then we can make better choices.
100%. It's funny though, because I think even if you listen or you intentionally listen, universe, God, whatever you believe in, provides you the steps. He will send you people in your life that would support you to whatever meant to happen or supposed to happen, or the highest, power that it's calling you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So you're saying really that you trust life?
I do. Right
Yeah.
now, 100% I trust life. Even with the worst things that happen in my life, I 100% believe everything happens for a reason. Because like, if I look back and well, I would really label 2011, 2000 till 2015 as I would say a tragedy,
Yeah.
right? But looking back, that's what made me who I am today. I'm so grateful, and I will never change it. I will keep it.
For me, when I was reading your story, reading your book, it's like the pain has been your alchemy. It's
Yeah.
been your magic or the potion that you needed to turn it into beauty.
Yeah. Yeah. Pain was the teacher for me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful message. Why did you decide to write your story down?
Um, I really have, like, why did I decide? I just really believe massively that I'm alive right now to make a difference for people.
Yeah.
And I don't know how, but I'm like trying to find each and every way to, to make that difference. And I believe also my story, whatever happened to me, is there to empower other women, other people in the world.
Absolutely. There's so many different angles that people can take information from. One of my friends listens to the podcast in Germany, and she says every story is so different to her life, but she can take something from every story.
So right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So we don't have to have had the same experience, but just to hear that your commitment to being independent, fierce, spontaneous, alive woman is just, yeah, it's inspiring. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, going against all the odds. So I guess I'm interested now, what is the relationship like with your family that moved back to Libya? I mean, your mum, do you speak to your mum?
Well, my mom is not happy with me, being with Trey, given that we have a very different background.
Because he's not a nice Libyan man? Is that why?
That's right. It's outside of
Hey, I'm Jewish, so it'd be the same in my religion as well. Not a nice Jewish boy, it would be the same.
Exactly, and it's outside of everyone's expectation. And I don't think it happened before, not in my family. So she's not happy. She doesn't speak to me. We've been speaking, I mean, like when she moved to Libya and everything was really great. But now at this moment, we're not speaking to each other. I mean, I text her, try to call her. She doesn't want to respond, but what's there for me is just pure love. Like, if this is her choice and this what makes her happy, I will support it 100%. My love for her is huge, and I'm so grateful for everything that she taught me.
And I can hear you have immense understanding because she's conditioned to believe that the only person for you would be a nice Muslim Libyan man. But there's also, it's hard to understand though. It's still painful, even though you can understand it. It must hurt in some way.
Of course, you miss someone, especially if you love them too much, and you would have expectation of You want them to be there for you. You want them to love you unconditionally, no matter what you choose. You want them to support you even if you've done the wrong thing. So you have expectation that I need to manage for myself. I can't really force her. I can't really blame someone for doing something and I'm doing the same thing, because I'm blaming her for not for the expectation that I have.
Yeah.
And she is expecting me to be a specific way. So I'm not even meeting that. So yeah, it's just finding peace of going and of saying no to people that you love because you believe in something different, but also not making them wrong and not blaming them.
Yeah.